Hold on, stop. Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill. You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.
Well, what is going on? And welcome to Take on the World with
John I.
and Mike D. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good.
How's your New Year's going?
Good. Getting ready for that Steeler playoff game on Monday.
Dude, they're doing good.
Well,
Dude, I watched them crush some people.
they're doing okay.
I'm not good with names, but the one was a good game.
They're squeaking by. Let's just say that. They're squeaking by.
I think everybody's squeaking by.
It seems like same thing with hockey. Like everybody's like clumped in the middle and standing out like one way or the other. Honestly, Pittsburgh's not standing out one way or the other.
I feel in my opinion, like the Birds, I love them, and they're like, oh, they suck this year. They're pulling shit.
They made the playoffs, though.
Yeah, they made the playoffs.
They play today, don't they?
Oh God, what is that? No, I don't know.
Today's sad turd day.
Oh, they could. I don't know. I always miss their fucking games, but yeah, we're like they're not going far. They're gonna lose the first game. They'll be done.
Well, Pittsburgh might too, but who knows? Because I don't think they're strong enough to go all the way. Preface this by saying I haven't watched football in probably
10 years,
7 years, 6 years.
Yeah, you were staunch on that, man. You were like, nope. Ever since they started kneeling on the flag, and you made a hard stance on that, and you stuck to it.
And what changed my mind was they're not doing that anymore. Number one,
yeah,
and number two, I really wanted to see what Aaron Rodgers did with the Steelers for this season. And it looks like he's having fun playing football.
Good. How old is he?
43?
That's like ancient.
Oh, yeah. He might be older than that. I don't know.
That's like me trying to pick up a football with all my aches and creaks and ailments. I would get hit once and I would be dead. I would get hit by the kicker and be put out of service. Yeah, it's but no, they look good, man. I saw a couple runs by them and whatever that.
They play tomorrow. Eagles play tomorrow at 4:30.
Who do they play?
Now you want top quality?
Well,
San Fran.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
San Francisco.
Ooh, if I heard the San Fran have a good team. I heard they do.
I don't know. So San Francisco is one of those teams like back in the day that just changed the way football was done. When was it? The early 90s, mid 90s. They had a template on how to build a team.
They were just crushing.
And it wasn't the best player in that position. It was the best player in that position for their team. So someone might have been more talented at that position, but the people that they brought into the club were the best player that fit into the team for that position. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they had a template for it, and that's why they were so dominant there for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So kudos to them. Like I'm not a San Fran fan, but like they knew how to build a team.
They knew the fuck am I trying to say? They knew the template.
Yep.
And they did it. Good. We'll see.
So not much else going on, bro. That's it. Lights going out. Georgia. So we've been on a little bit of a World War II gazizzle here. We did the Battle of Leyte a few episodes back. And so I thought, well, you came up with this, and it's very fitting because what you brought up is kind of a bookmark to that whole Philippines campaign.
Sure. Yep.
To the Battle of Leyte. There was the campaign for Bataan and the Philippines, and then there was the Battle of Leyte. And that kind of bookmarked our whole campaign in the Philippines. And so I was happy you brought this up because I would have forgot it. I usually like to talk about our victories, and this was not one of our victories.
No, it was not.
But it's important because it gives you a better understanding of that Battle Leyte episode that we did, if you can ever make sense of episodes we do. I wish we were a little more concise sometimes.
I mean, we chose our title, and that's what we stick to.
But we do things how we do them, and we like to have fun with them, and I won't apologize for that.
Mike, that's the whole thing, is coming down here and having fun. you know, if it weren't fun, I wouldn't do it.
I just like bullshit about shit. And,
Like I feel we should have named our original name Shop Talk. Right?
you know, someone had that.
Yeah, we got to make do.
Take on the world is, and we do take on the world. We take on everything.
We just do topics that we like, we think are interesting.
Anything that pops up. And it just so happens the last couple have been
like 3 months ago, we did the Krampus.
No, this one will come out right after Christmas.
Yeah.
Battle of Leyte
Get
was
your time machine.
Battle of Leyte was taped 3 months ago, but it only came out 6 weeks ago. Because I'm trying, now that we're past Christmas and New Year's, I'm going to try to get them out every 2 weeks.
I still do love the fact that I come up with a topic and you go full tilt.
Well, yeah, you have to love the fact that you could say a word.
Like if this,
I do all the work.
if this were not for Mike, this shit would never happen.
I enjoy the research. I'm starting to dread the editing.
Yeah, that's where you would lose me because I'm just not good at it. And
I'm okay at it, but I've been doing it because
I think we'd still be on episode 2.
When I ran wrestling shows, I did all the video editing for that and gained a fair amount of knowledge, and it helps with this.
And then we got this new setup, man. This is all brought to you by Mike D.
Right. Actually, it's not all brought to me by that, because that big monitor right in front of us was donated to us by a friend / listener / co-host, guest host.
That's right.
That's right. Sebastian McCool.
That episode was...
We had fun.
I want to listen to that one again, but I don't know where to remotely find it.
Well, you just have to go through the list.
It was AI.
Yeah. We had a good time on that one.
It was really good. And our whole setup, that table was going that way.
Yeah.
He sat over here.
Oh, we had a full table for that one.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good one.
And yeah, he brought that monitor up, or he sent that monitor to me, and it just surprised the crap out of me. And I'm eternally grateful. It's very helpful.
I'm not used to it. I'm like keep looking at that one, but I have my own one here.
Yeah, we all have our own monitor now. Like there's one there, there's one there. I have my computer here, and we can look at our pretty faces on this one, so we make sure nothing's going wrong. And then I have the research and stuff on those 2 computers or monitors. And at some point, I'm gonna enclose this little space and
like box it out like a little cigar room.
Little room, and I want to hang the monitors either from the ceiling or on the wall, get the lighting right in here, and soundproof the ceiling so we don't hear that freaking dog barking.
What dog? I've never heard that.
You didn't hear that when we were doing?
I did.
Heard both of them. You heard Jax and you heard little Ollie.
I was so surprised when I came in the door and I saw it. I was like, oh my God, I'm like, come here.
Lexi had plans to go to see some friends. Lucky for me, she dropped little Ollie off, and he was sitting with me intently for a while.
Yeah, when I came in, he went by the door and he plopped over on his side, and I petted him, and then he jumped up in your chair. And I was like, you've been sitting in this fucking chair just chilling all day, haven't you, little buddy?
Well, he jumped up with me, and he sits right between my legs.
Sniffing your crotch.
Nope, facing the other way.
Sniffing your crotch.
No pervy shit here.
It's not pervy. It's what dogs do.
Me and Ollie sit there like true men.
He shared a cigar together.
Well, he's got a little
sip of bourbon, little buddy.
You know my Dixon flannels that I wear?
Yeah.
My motorcycle shirts. He's got a little Dixon hoodie that I got.
Get the fuck. Does he really?
Yeah, and Jax.
That's awesome.
That bandana that's on Jax is a Dixon too. So I got a Dixon for everybody in the family.
That's awesome.
Not a sponsor. If you want to be.
Please. I could use a flannel.
I've got like 1, 2, 3. I got like 7 or 8 of them now.
Man. And they are nice flannels.
And they're comfortable.
Comfortable?
I got the Def Leppard one.
Are you serious?
I got the Def Leppard one.
Well, if they made a Motley Crue one, do they make one?
I have Metallica. I don't know if they have a
you need a Motley Crue.
Well, if they have a Motley Crue one, I don't care what it costs.
Yeah, you need one.
So, anywho, we're going to talk about the Bataan Death March.
I must just say before I want to get this out of the way that it smells like, when I first came down here, it smelled like pancake syrup, and now it smells like an old military store. And that's not a bad thing. That this is totally like, I love it. Like you go to like a military surplus store.
Yeah, they smell musty.
And
we're in a dungeon.
This is like bringing me back, like 100%. Like this is a good thing, Mike.
It's a dungeon, and that other smell is someone tried to melt candle wax over there, and it's still sitting there.
You're pissed off about that candle. It smells good.
Well, I come down here when I first came down after we first did it. It just hit me like the slap in the face. What the hell is that?
This is like, to me, this is like a nostalgic smell that Gen Z will never understand. There were no military stores. Like, you walk in there, that Army Navy store, and you're like, I'm going to pick up some fatigues, some green pants, whatever, a jacket, maybe give me a fire starter. And it would, the beautiful times, man. Beautiful times. Most beautiful times ever. I don't know.
Just what to say. Yeah, there was 3 Army Navy stores when I was growing up down in Allentown, and I think I visited all 3 of them once or twice a week.
And that's where we shopped. You kids shop at Hollister and fucking Old Navy.
I don't think they shop at Old Navy anymore. They go to freaking Hot Topic and.
Well, I went to Hot Topic, man. No, don't. I had a dragon necklace.
Did you ever shop at a Spencer's, or were they gone before you were?
Oh, I shopped at Spencer's. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to walk through Spencer's every time we went to the mall.
Spencer's. Oh, I lied. That's where I got my dragon necklace. It was Spencer's.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that then. That's not gay.
I got it mixed up with Hot Topic. I didn't really shop at Hot Topic, but I would go in there and, my goth girlfriend or whatever, and I need a bondage belt.
Anywho, so can we talk about Bataan Death?
Let's do it. Let's go. What did they find?
So like I said, the Bataan Death March and the Battle of Leyte Gulf are 2 bookends of the same struggle to control the Philippines. And controlling the Philippines was so important because if you controlled the Philippines, you controlled the means of supplying your entire Pacific fleet.
That was the gateway.
Especially for Japan.
Yeah.
If you could cut them off from the Philippines, they could not get any supplies out to their fleet, or it was near impossible. So Japan's early war strategy after Pearl Harbor, which 1941, everybody knows that, Japan quickly moved to seize the Philippines. And secure its southern flank and control sea routes and resources through Southeast Asia. Japanese forces flooded Luzon in December of 1941. They outnumbered and outgunned the U.S. and Philippine forces like badly.
And I've heard this before, and I was like, what? Like, you got to think, the Japanese were a war machine for like decades, years before this. So they're prime. And we had, from what I've heard, American grenades, like 1 in 10 would go off. Like we would produce it, but like you would throw a grenade and be like, doubt that's going to go off.
Well, we had the same problem with torpedoes.
So yeah, we're like we're just new coming into this, and the Japanese have been doing this for whatever.
Well, we didn't really build when we saw the war in Germany kick off, or in Europe, we should have started building up. And eventually we did, but we did it too late. And when the sneak attack came from Japan, we just were not prepared to go into a full-scale war. And we kind of struggled there for a little bit until we got our feet under us. Now, thankfully, the men of that generation, or I should say the boys of that generation, their heart was in the fight. And that's what made the difference. And if you hear stories from World War II in a European theater, especially in Italy and France, where the French or the Italians, the Italian partisans would say, okay, we're not going any further because it's too dangerous. The Americans would say, fuck that. We just got here. We want to fight. And they would go. And that's where the Marines got the devil dog. No, it was in World War I, where they got devil dog with the French soldiers. Anyway, they would just go. We're not stopping. We just got here.
Right.
You're not.
We want to get we want to make a difference. We're here to fight.
We're getting our peace. And they thought the Americans were insane, and partially true because they were Marines. In the Pacific, these guys were not prepared. Pearl Harbor happened, and they went to Luzon like right after. So we were still reeling. Declaration of war, I don't even know had even been, it may have been pronounced, but we just weren't ready. They weren't supplied properly. And
so we were undergunned, and the Japanese were at their peak.
Now the Japanese had just been through a war with China. So they've been
raping and pillaging
and doing all that. So their military had been not only building up, they've been building up because they knew what they were imperialistic, Imperial Japan.
And they had, I think at the time, the world's largest navy.
That could be.
Or they had a damn strong navy. Anyways, let's stay on track.
No, this is good background for it because I'm not making excuses for the U.S. losing, but they weren't prepared. And Japan.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. And we all know
it's just like a football game. One team comes in prepared, the other team just isn't as prepared. And
we were the underdog.
Yeah.
And we all know the outcome.
But there were a lot of Philippine forces there, and everybody was just overtaken. The American Filipino defensive situation, the U.S. and Philippine troops fell back to Bataan Peninsula. Go ahead.
And Corridor Island under pre-war
War Plan Orange.
Under pre-war War Plan Orange meant to hold out until relief arrived from the U.S. fleet.
Which the U.S. fleet was in shambles at the time.
Right. So this is after Pearl Harbor.
Yes. Right after Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
I mean.
And we're lucky that our two main battleships were not in harbor. Or was it more than one or two? I don't know.
There was a carrier that wasn't in harbor.
I think it was two carriers. So that relief never came. After Pearl Harbor, the U.S. Navy was in no shape to break through, leaving Bataan's defenders effectively cut off from substantial resupply.
Nothing could get to them. The U.S. Navy.
You control the air, you control the sea, you control everything.
That's one of the things they said, that the Japanese were specifically outgunned in power and air power and modern equipment, because there was not much modern equipment for the U.S. soldiers or the Filipino soldiers in Luzon.
And from what I've heard, that this is when the campaign of island hopping came about. But correct me if I'm jumping ahead, but they're like, dude, like they have nothing. Like we control the air, and their navy's dead. Let them starve. And it was like MacArthur or somebody wanted to go in and like bomb them and like do a land campaign, and like there's no need. Just let them die. And they have nothing. There's no resupply. So there was like kind of like there's that aspect of it, and then there's what we're going to talk about now.
The problem was that War Plan Orange should have been put in place earlier, but someone said, no, not yet. And then they finally put it in place, and it failed. That relief never came. So the Battle of Bataan began in January 1942. It turned into a grinding defensive fight with shrinking rations, spreading disease, exhausted troops on the Allied side. By April, many Americans and Filipino soldiers were severely malnourished and sick. Major General Edward King chose to surrender Bataan on April 9th, 1942, believing that further resistance would only mean annihilation without purpose. So I'm going to pause there and talk about the Japanese mindset when it comes to surrender. And all their soldiers have been taught, you do not surrender, you fight until your last breath, and if you don't, you're dishonored. So when you see...
And they'll execute you.
Your own soldiers will kill you if you try to surrender.
Yeah, exactly.
So they see all these like 72 to 78,000 Americans, Filipinos just giving up. Number one, the Japanese didn't have the resources to transport or feed or do anything with these people, these prisoners. And they're looking down on them like, you're a loser because you just gave up. How can you just give up? That's not honorable in any way. You have no honor. They didn't have enough trucks to transport them. So the plan was to move them to where they had rail cars and then take the rail cars to Camp O'Donnell. But where they had rail cars was like, I don't know, like 66 miles away. So they decided that they were just going to send all these 78,000 Americans, Filipinos on this brutal march, which became the Bataan Death March. And like I said, the cultural attitude towards surrender gave the Japanese soldiers and officers all the reason they needed to treat these people, these prisoners, like garbage. In the beginning, there were some Japanese soldiers who were actually kind and were sharing some food. When the officers saw that, they put an end to it quickly. And they just, if you collapsed on the road, they'd bayonet you to death.
Right. Yep.
if you had malaria, you had a malaria attack, they'd kill you. I just watched a movie with Rob. Did you watch it with us? The Long Walk?
No.
It's not the same, but it's the same. These people had to go on this walk. It could only be one winner. It started out with 100, and everybody thinks they're going to win. But if anybody fell down or stood still for too long, they'd kill them. And now that's only 100 people, but this is 78,000 people. Not all the people of that 78, the prisoners, made it to the railhead and Camp O'Donnell. About 20,000 prisoners along the way escaped.
No shit.
They escaped into the jungle. Not 20,000 at one time, but every here and there, a prisoner would escape. And they become guerrilla fighters, and they would be in the jungle being guerrilla fighters. And the length of the march is disputed, but if you look on a map from where they started to where they went, it's about 66 miles. It's always said between 60 and 70 miles, so that's where it falls in. So they started April 10th. The Japanese organized surrender troops into columns near Johnny
Maravels
and other points on southern Bataan, giving prisoners little food, water, or medical support. Basically, no medical support. Combination.
I maybe I'm jumping ahead here. Probably am, but what was the point of taking all them and moving them 60 miles to wherever?
To Camp O'Donnell. It was someplace they could hold them in mass. They had no place there to hold 78,000 people.
So they were probably being bombed. Couldn't hold them there, right? I mean, why were they being bombed?
Here's the train of thought.
Weird.
They thought you march them 70 miles.
They'd all die.
A lot would die. Less people to take care of. I honestly think that was the thing. Combination of starving, disease, tropical heat, poor logistics.
Oh, they probably couldn't get hold for war crimes. Well, we marched them from one place to the other, and they all died.
Yeah, they still got to try for war crimes.
Well, I know, but like maybe was that their thinking? Like
I don't know.
Half of them will die. We're going to bury them.
I don't think the Japanese cared.
I don't think they did either. I know they didn't. When you bayonet a guy for like collapsing from dehydration, war crime.
The brutality produced the conditions of the Bataan Death March: beatings, shootings, bayonetings, and death by exhaustion en route to Camp O'Donnell. All that shit happened. So we talked about how long it was. The march began after the surrender. POWs were forced to turn north. This is all the same shit. It's estimated how many men started the march, from 60 to 80,000 prisoners. They don't know how many it was total. See, the total distance generally is 65 miles.
Yeah.
The one video I watched it said 66.
Dude, that's long. That's like from here to Philly? Maybe longer?
Is it?
I don't know.
And they were forced to walk like so many miles a day.
In the blazing hot sun, no water, no food.
And most of these prisoners were already weakened by months of combat and starvation and disease. And so they weren't allowed to stop to shit. I watched an interview with one of the survivors, and he said, if you had to shit, you shit your pants. And because if you stopped to take a squat, you were dead.
You're dead. That's it.
That was it. And now on that movie I was talking about, the same thing happened. The dude had to take a fucking shit. He got halfway through his shit, and they said, last warning. And he got up and he had to run, and he shit his pants. If you tried to help someone falling, they'd kill you too. They left the bodies unburied on the side of the road or in shallow roadside graves. So when they got to San Fernando, which is where the railhead was, you would think, oh, we're going to get in a boxcar and we're going to be able to at least rest our feet. No, they packed them in so tight that you couldn't lay down. In fact, if someone died while they were in there, they couldn't even fall to the floor. Dead people standing up, they're forced to stand, or not forced to stand. They were held up by the pressure of the bodies around them. Many suffocated and died in heat and exhaustion before reaching Campus Capaz. And from there, they walked 9 more miles to Camp O'Donnell. Let's see. Death tolls. The death tolls from the march are between 5 and 18,000 Filipino and 500 and 650 American POWs. After the war, American tribunals classified the Bataan Death March as a war crime, and several officers were tried and convicted. And the march became one of the most infamous examples how POW abuse in the Pacific War, which is true. Like, the Japanese treated POWs horribly, but so did the Vietnamese. I think it's just a cultural thing in that part of the world.
What was the when we did the episode on, the Camp 741.
731.
Did not care.
Here it is. During and just after the Bataan death march, an estimated 10,000 to 12,000 Filipino and several thousand American soldiers either slipped away or escaped from holding points and joined or formed for guerrilla units in the mountains. So, you're talking 10, 15, almost 20,000 out of like, let's say 75,000. Like, just because there's so, you're talking 75,000 people. That's the size of some small cities.
Right.
So there's no way to keep track of all those people.
No way. How would you know that half of them were missing? And then
if they're missing,
why would you care? Like, oh, they're probably dead.
If they're missing one at a time or two at a time, you're not going to know that. Survivors of the march were initially held at Camp O'Donnell and later transferred to other camps such as
Cabanatuan.
Yep.
Bilibid.
Escape attempts from these facilities are rare because the Japanese punished both escapees and fellow prisoners harshly. So if one guy tried to escape, they punished everybody. A few small scale escapes did occur from camps like
Cabanatuan,
but successful outbreaks were limited. Most POWs remained in captivity until 1944, 1945. Now we're going to talk in another podcast about the
Cabanatuan
raid in January of 1945. I'm just going to touch on it here real quick. The most famous operation, now this was after the march, most famous operation was the U.S. Army Rangers Alamo Scouts Philippine guerrilla raid on
Cabanatuan
POW camp on the 30th of January 1945 and freed more than 500 Allied prisoners. Many of them prisoners. What the hell was I thinking?
What?
Many of them prisoners.
Where do you say that?
Right here.
It says many of them survivors.
Oh, many of them survivors. I get it.
Reading.
I'm reading from 2 pages.
Okay. All right, I got you.
Many of them survivors of the Bataan and the Death March. The raid happened after U.S. returned to Luzon and had returned. God, you read this. I'm having a hard time.
This raid happened after the U.S. return to Luzon had begun, but before the overall liberation of the Philippines was complete. And it was often highlighted as a dramatic reversal of the earlier captivity that began with Bataan's fall.
So
we got you, motherfucker.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Like, you fucked around enough. You fucked our boys up. Like, we're coming back at you. And that's what we did.
Yeah. So these are the things that kicked off the Philippines.
Holding your ass accountable.
So going back to the very beginning of where we started is where MacArthur stepped off the island and said, I will return. But he left before he was in any danger. He left everybody else to kind of fend for themselves. So that's the Bataan Death March. It's pretty cut and dry, but it's a horrible, horrible part of the war.
For sure. Short-lived little victory, if you want to call it that, for the Japs.
Well, this was a major victory for them. And then it was a major disgrace for them because of the brutality and the killings that happened along the way. And they were tried. Again, a lot of the common soldiers are probably just, they weren't tried. They were, we're just doing our job.
I think the leader, vet me on this, but I believe the leader of this Bataan Death March, whatever general, he was hung by the Filipino guerrillas as, like, they brought him back to the Philippines and were like, hey, guess what? These guys you fucked with, they're going to hang you now.
I think I did hear something like that on one of the videos I watched, but I'm not positive. Anyhow, so we took on the Bataan Death March.
That was so short.
I know, but we have a little mini episode that we're going to do here on the Cabatuat. How'd you pronounce it?
I don't know. I'm going to pull it up again.
Right there.
Oh, there it is. Cabanatuan.
We're gonna call it the Great Raid, which is what it's called. So look out for that. That might be a quick release after this episode. We took on the Bataan Death March. Now you take on the world.
Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill. You want to be my wife?
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.